My hair is sticky.
Excuse me. Can I quit this podcast?
I told Eddie Murphy to stay in college so he'd have something to fall back on. I did great advice.
Welcome to yet another episode of Stand Up Memories at our new home. And this is Paradise Studios in
That wasn't a
Massapequa.
coincidence, right? They
No.
played that introduction on purpose.
That was on purpose.
That's pretty cool.
We are live, Paradise Studios, and the network we're on live is Strong Island. Yes, indeed.
See that? I let you handle the introduction.
And I'm Peter Bales.
You know how many people turned out already?
Okay. Well,
Turned out?
there are a few people still watching. I'm Peter Bales, Jackie Martling, and look at our guest, everybody. Anderson Cooper is here, ladies and gentlemen, from CNN. He does look like Anderson Cooper.
I get that a lot.
Okay. And he's a good-looking guy, so no worries on that score. I
have blonde hair. Both of you guys look old.
Okay. And Jackie the Joke Man, Peter Bales, as I said, Eric Haft, comedian extraordinaire. Eric Haft is his real name.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you for coming on our first show.
I'm honored. This is
on
amazing.
the Strong Island Network.
Congratulations.
Strong Island Network.
Yeah.
Is that the official name of this? The Strong
It's
Island
the Strong
Network?
Island Network, and we are at Paradise Studios, where they have a catacomb of many different studios where you can do anything on video you want.
And the fun thing is getting here, you have to go down a one-way street.
Is
I
a
don't think
one-way
I was
street?
supposed to, but
Okay.
I did.
All right.
But I got here.
Well, let's do it.
Let's do it.
We
I
are-
love the word catacomb. That was very fancy.
Catacombs.
Catacomb.
We
yes,
are
the
on the air.
catacombs.
Now, I wanted to
When's the
start
last time you heard that word?
It's been a while.
Catacomb.
catacombs. Don't you guys read Roman history?
Well, I was reading some on the way over here.
Okay, good.
Roman history.
Now, Eric
Did you-
Haft.
they invented the toilet, and then the Roman Empire went under, and it wasn't reinvented for 2,000 years. That's true.
I actually happen to know that they were beginning to put flush toilets into buildings in Manhattan in the 1870s. It was a huge deal. That's how long.
When
we
are they
had to
going to
wait.
do that in Bayville?
I don't know. When you were growing up, we've talked about it. You had an outhouse at first, right?
Not me, but my
Your
family's house.
your
The
ancestors.
the house my grandfather built. Yeah, I think it was like 15 years before they had electricity. East Norwich was the boondocks. We were way out.
Yeah,
you
Long
know.
Island was the boondocks at one point.
Absolutely.
But I was going to give Eric credit. Now, he's a comedian.
Did he invent the toilet?
He invented
No, that was Joey Kohler. Kohler.
Kohler.
I get it.
Joey
now.
Kohler.
All right. Terrible.
Took me a second.
Terrible.
Now, Eric, not only is he a comedian working everywhere, he's also a
Luckily, he had tonight off.
he's a musician, and he doesn't really play that up. And a lot of people don't know it. An accomplished musician who is an accomplished comedian. Now, you guys have in common because you don't get the credit you deserve
Yes.
for your music
Wow, it
and your guitar.
went
your
away a
guitar
long
player.
time ago.
Well, you did it, and it's on albums.
Comedy and music are the same. I really think they're so similar. The
They really are.
timing.
I stopped trying to be a professional musician when I realized that eventually I would like to eat. No, I seriously had that. It was like the end of my last band. And I said, if I ever want to get a house and a family or anything, I'm never going to do it making $40 a night at the Neptune pub. So I figured I'd try something really easy. I started doing my jokes on stage.
Yeah.
That was not logical, but that was the actual.
Here's the
Do you
thing.
still
Here's
do
the
it to
thing.
make money?
Well, not to make money. I get hired. I'm a freelance guy. So if people offer, I'm a whore. I basically
Are
work
you
for
playing
money.
piano?
No, I'm a drummer. I'm a drummer, a singer. I work at
Not a
very
lot of solo
specific-
work.
No, but I went to school for music, graduated with a degree in jazz and all this great stuff. And then I just like always wanted. I love comedy. It was the greatest thing.
But you incorporate your
I do.
vocals.
I'm very curious.
Into
What
comedy.
must the final test look like for a drummer?
You'd be surprised, man. It's hard.
Where did you? What college did you go to?
University of Miami.
And you majored in
Coral
Partying.
Gables.
Right.
Well, technically, it was called Studio Music and Jazz.
okay.
And then I started there, and then I wound up coming back to New York and finishing in New York.
Because
playing
you
with-
knew that if you got a degree in choral music and jazz, the jobs
Studio
would
music
be-
and jazz.
studio music and jazz, the jobs would be just waiting for you when you got
Oh my
out
gosh, yeah.
with that degree.
Well, that and comedy, I think, are your two best professions. If you want to make a lot of money, you stick with. That's
My-
really where it's.
My son Dylan right now is getting a master's degree at the New School in music composition.
Yeah.
And I told him to follow his dream.
And his minor is in borrowing money from Peter.
I've heard. He's got an A every semester.
But
You really went to university. When I was in college a while back,
Yes.
University of Miami and University of Wisconsin were the two biggest party schools
They
according
were.
to
They
Playboy.
were.
You know,
It's really odd. A lot of famous people, like musicians, came out of Miami and are playing with some of the greatest. You might not Pat Metheny and
a
like
great guitar player of all
incredible.
time.
Yeah. But like I had a professor years ago used to say, there's a lot of competition here. There's no competition up here. And it's the same in comedy. When you whittle it down to how many really great comedians there are, it's not a lot. It really isn't. There
But
aren't.
everybody else is scrounging for that.
Yeah,
middle
they're
Depends
not.
how
ground.
you define great. The money for comedians is when you can actually put fannies in the seats. Then you can get the door and you can make a lot of money on a Tuesday night.
Absolutely.
But if you're a good comedian,
Fannies in the seats.
fannies.
did I have said asses with that?
No, but that would it just you just
Fannies in the
so
seats.
gentle.
When Peter
He's-
grew up,
he's
they would
gentle
say
and wonderful,
fannies
yeah.
back then. It was called a fanny.
we had a track coach that used to yell. Me and another couple of guys used to get in so much trouble with the guy, and he talked through his nose, and he used to accuse us of playing grab ass. And there's nothing funnier than trying to keep a straight face when this tall, skinny guy's going, Jesus Christ, Marley and Doran, you two guys are playing grab ass. Goddamn playing grab. That wasn't bad enough. You know how when you have an expression, eventually it morphs into other expressions that mean the same thing,
Yes.
right? And one day he's yelling at us, and I thought he was going to kill us. And Jesus Christ, you two are out there clutching fannies. Holy mackerel! I thought I was going to have a heart attack. But that's like that. The
Fannies.
fannies got me off, so I'm sorry.
Well, no, I'm
Jesus Christ,
you
Marty.
never heard a teacher or a coach curse back in our day.
No,
Never.
grab ass, even as gentle as that is, which you just
It
never
was a
heard.
big deal. That
I was
big deal.
on the soccer team, Locust Valley High School, class of 73. And the coach got mad at me and called me a rubber. You Bales, you rubber. I missed a shot. We were just
I don't
floored.
even know what does that mean.
A
Like a
rubber.
Trojan, like
A
a.
condom.
Condom, rubbers.
You rubber. We used to be in it. You're a rubber. It's a
That's
mild.
not even a rank out.
Well, we were just floored by it. Joke about it to this day. Bales,
I
you
think
rubber.
we might have to start calling Bales rubber.
Were you guys like in class? I mean, Peter, you're a very astute young man, but you were a good student, I would think. And I was the kid who I was a mimic. So if I heard the teacher sound a certain way, I would start to do it when he turned his back. I would do the teacher. It was just something I could do. But were you the clown or were you?
I was the class wit. I was not the class clown. I did not turn my eyelids inside out.
I never did.
I was, the
That was a whole
sarcastic
nother
one.
level.
Big difference between class wit and class clown.
Yeah, I was a little of both, but I had an English teacher who I just loved, and he loved me. And sometimes he'd be teaching, and it'd just be a line you couldn't let go by, and I would yell out whatever the pun or the stupid line was, and he'd say, 3 o'clock, Jackie. And I'd say, okay, Mr. Cuddy. And I'd show up at 3 o'clock and he'd make me write an article for the school paper. You know what I mean? He was a cool guy. But you had to break balls here and there, you know.
Yeah. No, but I think everybody's different. I wasn't the clown, but I was doing.
Well, you say you're a mimic. Now, Eric is the perfect example for comedians. A lot of comedians watch our show, especially new ones. The difference between doing a character and an impression. An impression is a famous person.
Yes.
You can think to yourself, you can check to see how accurate it is. A character is somebody you encounter on your own in your life from your family or just meeting them on the street. And you can't check to see.
In other words, nobody can tell if you suck at it.
That's right.
Well, nobody knows what your grandmother sounded like or the waiter in the restaurant.
That's
Nobody
not very
can-
nice. She's
nobody
dead.
can-
My
the-
grandmother's
he-
dead.
Yeah, I would assume. Yeah, she never had indoor plumbing either. That's why she was backed up.
No, you're right though.
Not my grandmother.
I started with the impressions when I was young. I used to watch guys. I would watch Carson, and I would do. You would do things. And when I first started
I've
comedy,
never seen you do.
I used to do Sammy. Sammy Davis. I would do
That's good.
whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong. And then you would go and you would do
That that's just an amazing talent.
That's
like
pretty
Billy
good.
West is so great at that.
voice.
Could you do? I couldn't even begin to.
I cannot do voices,
I wouldn't know where
characters,
to start
impressions.
unless you're just fooling around doing a voice you're making up in your head.
It's just I think it's music too, tied in, because you hear notes and it falls into a range, and then that range is here. Okay, I can do that.
I didn't know he was going to get technical.
He's getting technical.
I was at Chris Monty bust my chops. He's going to be on the show later, obviously, or your next episode.
next
I
episode,
believe.
yeah.
If we let
When
him.
he's on, ask him. He would always ask me to do him. He would say, "Do me, do me." And one day I was with.
That's not what he meant, Eric. I mean,
All
for
right.
God's sake,
That
you
was
were not
another
picking up
evening.
on the right cues.
I've never been good at that.
Have you ever heard of an impressionist named David Fry? I actually was class president, and in high school, we booked him to come to Locust Valley High School.
Give him some. You're not. Are you that much younger than us? How old are you?
He's younger.
I was born in. I'm 58.
Yeah, you suck.
You're a young guy. David
So we
Fry.
don't know who David
Fry
is.
was a top impressionist, and he came and he did a show at our high school, and used some dirty words, and the principal was bent out of shape and had to write a letter and everything. But that's not the point. He came out. He was funny, and I saw him warming up before the show in front of a full-length mirror, and he said it's all about getting into the physicality of a person.
Mhm.
You can't do the impression unless you can physicalize the person. And that's
So what you're saying is he basically is full of crap.
no, I didn't know. I'm not
Do
saying that at all.
you really think you got to stand there and work you?
No, you do. And that's what
It's like
that's
looking
a
at the mirror and going
serious
over your
acting.
jokes. If you don't know it by now,
No, he was going over when you can
It's true, you
physicalize
do.
the
You have to
person,
do it. You have to
the
have a
voice
physical,
comes
yeah.
out more naturally. That's true for actors. Actors will tell you that.
Well, look at Brando. He walked in for his audition for The Godfather and had to alter his, put stuff in his cheeks, and then
that's
where
that
that
is
came
such
from.
a great story. But you know what I mean? It's
It was real.
he was like 46 when he
Yeah.
played The Godfather.
Yeah.
He looked 86.
amazing. But Peter, I remember when I first started comedy, I did some impressions, and another comic said to me one day, I was doing for a couple of years, and the impressions would always kill at the end. And he goes, "Let me ask you a question. Do you think you're as good of an impressionist as and he mentioned Rob Magnotti. You know Rob Magnotti?
Yes, Rob
He's
Magnotti.
definitely one of the top guys. He's been on Letterman. Fantastic. And I said, "Of course not." I said, I'm not a real impressionist. I just throw him out there, to work on, in the middle of a bit." And he said, "Unless you can do them as good or better than Rob Magnotti, don't do them anymore, because you'll always be known as, oh, Eric Haft. Yeah, he's the impressionist, not Eric Haft. He's the comedian." And I stopped doing them that day. That was it.
Well, I mean,
That's kind of parallel to the guy that told me to shove my guitar up my ass. Did somebody really say that to you?
Yeah.
and they were wrong. And
Yeah,
I
of
think
course they were wrong.
they were wrong. If it's funny, you put it in your act. I don't care.
And if it's not funny, you take it out.
And
That's that
and
simple.
I would actually disagree with that. But you do characters. I feel like I know your mother is up from Florida visiting right now. Is that true?
Yes, she is. Yes.
and I feel like I know her through your act.
And she really is that person. She's that lady, you know.
And ladies and gentlemen, she's here tonight. Let's bring her in, Mrs. Haft.
She's angry. She's very angry because she's the world is never treating her well. Like, oh, you remember you call her up. Oh, you remember you had a mother. Oh, one day you'll call me, I'll be dead. You know, that's,
you know what she
that's
sounds
the
like?
introduction.
She sounds like somebody's mother.
Exactly. That's right. You know,
Jeez, that's so,
she's angry.
You're not coming? I love those stories.
Where do you think he got all the funny from? I'm the funny one, you know, it's taking credit.
And she lives now in
She lives in Florida.
what part of Florida?
She's in Delray Beach.
Okay.
It's a
hard
very,
to believe.
A lot of Jews. A lot of Jews.
Here's the
All right.
address. Come into the lobby. I'm on the 18th floor. Press 18 with your elbow, and then come up to the 18th floor. And when you get to my room, hit the button to ring the bell with your elbow. Ma, why am I hitting the button with my elbow? You're coming empty-handed?
That's a great joke.
That's Milton.
I love it. I love it.
Coming empty-handed? I love
Awesome.
those.
Now, you are also
Yes.
a family man.
Yes, I am.
3 kids.
Yes. Tres.
3 kids.
Yes.
One of each.
2
as
girls.
Rodney would say.
One of each. In my
You
act.
can't
yes.
say that anymore.
No.
No, now I say 2 are great and 1 we're trying to get our money back.
Two daughters and a son, and now an Australian mini shepherd.
He's not so mini. He's 45 pounds.
Well,
he was supposed to be mini. Yeah.
He was supposed to be mini, but how do you get along with him in the house?
Here's the thing with the Australian Shepherd. We were told to get a dog.
A real shepherd or a dog?
Australian Shepherd,
Oh.
yeah. And we were told get a dog because it'll actually lower your blood pressure. And we literally stand around. No, down, stop, no, go, out.
What's he
So
weigh?
I had a
What's he
stroke.
weigh?
I had a stroke last week. 45 pounds.
That's a big
It's a
dog.
big dog.
Well, they call it an Australian mini shepherd.
I guess they do get larger.
They're
Maybe
very, very energetic.
and they're herding dogs.
Yeah, they're
So if you
herding.
don't know, like
So it helps with the kids.
yeah,
There you go.
keeps them in check. Oh my God.
Jesus.
But he's
I hope you got a big house.
big enough for him. But
Oh.
yeah,
Now,
backyard. That's
I
the
don't
thing.
have daughters. I do not have daughters.
Luckily for them.
So I've never had to handle a guy coming to the house to date my daughter. I couldn't
Oh.
handle that.
Because you
happened-
know what was going through your mind when you walked up the walk to ring that bell.
That's right. I know what the guy's thinking.
That's right. We know what he really wants. He
Yeah.
wants, you know,
But
they want sex.
it's not the world's best kept secret.
Right.
You know.
I had one guy, we were eating dinner with him, her boyfriend. He had 2 eye rings, a nose ring, and a bolt through his tongue. And I said, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And he said, well, I'm gonna get that done. So, you know, these are the kind of geniuses they bring home, you know, for you to meet. But it's hard, you know. I do like him. I'm trying to get rid of him. I took him bungee jumping, which is
If you want to get lewd for a minute, a guy brings home a girl from the first date and they're standing on the porch and he leans against the wall and he says, come on, go down on me. She says, no, it's our first date. And I'm not doing it. He says, come on, go down on me. I'm not doing that. Come on, go down. And the window opens and her father yells, blow him, or I'll blow him, or your mother will blow him, but tell him to stop leaning on the doorbell.
that's great.
I
All
always
right.
think of that whenever I picture a guy at the door, and it's too Otto was you know, what are your intentions?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Ah,
too great. Too
Otto, we just mentioned Otto and George.
Yeah.
You should Google him. Classic comedian who was so bad he was good.
He really was.
It wasn't
You're
even bad. He was just way. You can't say he's ahead of his time. He was in a different boat going to a different planet. You know,
Right.
so dirty but so wonderful.
How many of those are there, do you think? How many guys just blow you away the first time and you go, this is the guy? When you saw Eddie Murphy, was he that guy?
No,
Eddie,
him.
Eddie
Absolutely
Murphy
not.
was an amazing talent. We're describing Otto and George.
but not out of the box. Like
Okay.
the first time you see Otto and George, First time you see Sam Kinison.
Mhm.
The first time you see Lenny Schultz. Not that they're
I would-
the
I
king
would-
of the
I would put
just-
Gilbert Gottfried in there.
Oh, and Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah.
You know, people that like you just like
Original, totally
you're
original.
up against the wall with like, holy crow, you know.
They, they're in a different zone. They're in a different
I felt-
stream of
I
consciousness.
felt like Robert Schimmel was one of those guys
Yeah.
in a more modern sense. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
was
just
so different. So
Dude.
different.
Somebody told me that Lenny Schultz, and you can Google him, Lenny Schultz, recently passed away.
yes.
Very sad. The Bionic Chicken was booked at a North Shore, Long Island country club for New Year's Eve, a bad booking, I might say. And he comes out, he's introduced, and a drunk woman is right down front being loud and ignoring him. And he walked right to the edge of the stage, leaned over her, and said to this woman, "Lady, sit down and shut up, or I'll rip your tits off." And apparently, from the story that I heard, and it's believable, two guys from the country club start walking toward the stage to literally attack Lenny Schultz. And he saw them coming. He turned around, walked off the stage, out the side door, into the parking lot, and went home and never did the show.
I
I love
thing
stories
is,
like
Lenny
that.
was
Best.
built like Superman.
Hmm.
He probably could have kicked the crap out of two country club guys, but he knew better.
And he's
But-
famous for vomiting on stage at the original improvisation at 44th and 9th and being suspended for 2 weeks because, boy, they were strict there about vomiting on stage.
Yeah.
he was a high school gym teacher.
He was.
Wow.
And he actually used to put on shows near his school and invite all the students. And he had a wacky little student that used to come on stage with him. And he just was from another. He really was from another planet. He was incredible.
There are comedians who they don't do the traditional stand-up comedy. Sometimes, and in the case of Otto and George, they are so bad they're good. And that is, of course, the premise behind the producers and Springtime for Hitler and making that musical.
The best.
Yeah, and that's what you talk about. You talk about these guys. You'll never ever forget them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say bad. I would say not for everybody, because the people that were watching Otto, just like when Gilbert goes to Pluto, half the room will leave, but everybody else is
The other
is
half
dying,
thinks he's a genius. I
just
worked
dying.
with Gilbert, opened for him many times, and I would say half the room had no idea what he was doing, and the other half thought he was a genius.
Yeah, that was part of the fun, to look around at the blank stares.
Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman.
Oh.
Same.
Oh, I
Same.
have an Andy Kaufman story. I was at the Improv, 44th and 9th, early 80s. Taxi is on. So he's known. He's famous.
Yep.
He comes in, he goes on. They introduce Andy Kaufman, and it's late. So only half the audience is still there. But he walks up on stage, doesn't even say hello. And he looks at the audience and goes, 100 bottles of beer on the wall, 100 bottles of beer. If one of those bottles should happen to fall, 99 bottles of beer on the wall. And he keeps going. And he keeps going. And it's very funny as he goes down through the 90s. And then he gets into the 80s, and he's a performance artist. The audience gets angry. Like, okay, it was funny, but stop
Not as
wasting
angry
my-
as me and him are as many times as we've heard this from you.
I have not done this story on.
Oh, but go ahead.
I haven't. I'm going to tell my
One more
Seinfeld.
time's not
I'm going to
gonna
tell
hurt.
my Seinfeld story
Skip
that I've told too
skip
many
a
times.
couple of decades of the
Yes.
bottles of beer.
Okay, well, I got to tell you, well, it was something that he was deliberately doing. He makes the audience angry, and they're yelling him to get off. And then he gets down to around 50, and he gets funny again by doing impressions and still doing the song. Elvis, 49 bottles of beer. And then he stops doing the impressions, and he's in the 20s, and they're angry again. Get off, get off. Then he gets down to around 10, and people realize, oh my God, he's going to make it. And they're cheering, go, go, go. And he ended it when he goes, 1 bottle of beer on the wall, 1 bottle of beer. And then he goes, you guys don't want me to finish this. And then he walked off, and the whole audience goes, oh my God.
which is priceless.
Which is priceless. And it's not even stand up. It's
Yeah, that's,
performance artist. It's
it's just
somebody who's
art. Yeah,
just
that's
it's
art.
art. It is art.
that's
It
it.
is art.
And it's not for everybody, but
I'm not sure if you should mention the song 100 Bottles of Beer on the Wall and art in the same sentence, but it was,
I've been on a bus where we got all the way down to zero.
it's
Well, that's the kind of bus you were on.
guys like
because, you
that are
know,
just, they're so few and far between. And the commitment, that's the key. The commitment.
to
And
go all the way.
yeah, man, like in your bits, like when I used to do the waiter, that silly waiter,
Yeah,
and I'd be performing for 3 people in the room, and I'm doing a waiter doing specials.
So what are the
And they're like,
specials?
"You're gonna do the waiter
Eric,
for-"
you're the waiter. What are the specials? Please tell me.
Well, it was these Italian restaurants. Everything was beautiful, deep fried, sauteed, pan-seared, oven roasted, Cajun grilled, black and fish, macchiato, squid ink, linguine over a pasta. Everything was like beautiful, excellent, beautiful, very light and beautiful, excellent. Pepper and cheese,
Have
excellent.
you got any food?
Eric,
so many of the waiters
Half a
and
peanut butter
waitresses,
and jelly sandwich.
this is as close as they're getting to auditioning for a role.
That's
You
right.
know,
Half of them are unemployed actors. You're right.
Right.
well, listen, I got to say to our audience, you see Eric Haft listed on the bill anywhere, go see him. He commits to many, many characters. I want you to bring back those impressions. But he's got characters. He's got his mom, his family, that waiter. He does Shakespeare. This man does Shakespeare in his show, ladies and gentlemen.
I do.
And the point is, he hates Shakespeare. That's the point of the bit. But anyway, Eric, thank you.
Hey, thanks for having
Thanks
me,
for coming.
guys.
Our first show.
Congratulations.
This
and,
is-
many
we
years.
appreciate you being here.
We
of
are
course.
on the Strong Island
Anything you want to
Network.
plug or send out to your people?
Well, is
Say
this
hello to
live?
your
Is
mom.
this live? I'll be at the Pastrami Palace.
Who isn't?
No. Actually, I'll be at the John Engelman Theater tomorrow evening.
Tomorrow
Beautiful
evening.
theater in Northport.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Excellent. And I'm doing a wonderful benefit at Bullsmith's Tavern or Ale House, but it's a really nice benefit Wednesday evening, this Wednesday. So
What's the benefit for?
they're raising money for, I think it's cerebral palsy.
Oh, that's
nice.
I did a benefit last week for prickly heat. It wasn't the enthusiasm that I was hoping.
I'm working July 25th at the American Hotel in Freehold, New Jersey for the JMRF.
Oh,
And JMRF stands for.
The Jackie Martling Retirement Fund.
Okay, there we go.
thanks for having me, guys.
Well, thank you, Eric
Love
Haft
it.
and Jackie, the joke man,
Thank you,
Martling.
Jack.
And
thank
you are
I am Peter Bales, and we are at
Professor Peter Bale.
Paradise Studios, Massapequa, Long Island, where they have so many cool studios here. You got to come in and check out the place. Anything you want to do in video podcasting, this is the place to do it. Paradise Studios. And the network that we're on is Strong Island Television, our new home for stand-up memories.
Yeah, baby.
All right. Thank you,
You
Eric.
are selling it. Way to
I'm
go.
selling it, baby.
Peter Bell.
Who the hell woke him up after all these years?
I'll be at Pizza Hut in Hicksville.
Yes.
I don't have the big dates that you guys
Right
have
after
to play.
this, we'll be at the
Thank you for
diner.
watching Stand Up Memories. We're coming out every week thanks to Strong Island
I
Television.
want
Oh, wait. Okay.
Amazon Prime.
that was
there is
too
a
easy.
murder mystery, an 8-part murder mystery called The Better Sister, and I am in it, and my house is in it. All you got to do is watch all 8 episodes and find out
Which
where and
one?
who and what.
That's absolutely true what Jackie said. That's not a joke.
Really?
No.
No.
Thank you. Again, we'll see you next time on Stand Up Memories.
Thanks.